Hey there, speculators. It's Rod, your Futures Fanatic. Welcome back to the channel. Futures Fanatic is part of TDG. That's the Traders Dev Group, where I provide education for active futures traders and self-directed investors. Make sure that you do look at these risk disclosures and disclaimers, because everything I say, do, and show here on the channel is for educational purposes only. Okay, today, exciting announcement from TradeDay. So I did an interview with the founders again, Steve and James. That'll be coming up in just a moment. I just want to do some quick housekeeping introduction things. So those of you that might not have been following along, back in January of this year, NinjaTrader acquired Tradovate. Tradovate's our favorite web-based platform, also has nice mobile, and NinjaTrader is one of the leading desktop Windows-based applications. And Tradovate actually integrates with TradingView, so you can trade those two platforms. But what happened today is that TradeDay, there's a lot of T's here, announced that they are going to be supporting an integration between NinjaTrader and Tradovate. Hence, you also can trade on TradingView. So you get 3 platforms for the price of 1. We get into how that all works. It works for existing accounts, but you can also pick up a new account at 40% off using my code TDG Best Deal. That's going to tradeday.com/TDG. That will be in the description below. That's 40% off for as long as you have your subscription for a TradeDay evaluation account. And now you can choose NinjaTrader, Tradovate, or TradingView and trade across all of those platforms at once, which is pretty exciting. So we got that going on. We also catch up on a few other things that are happening over at TradeDay and remind you of the interview that we did before. You can look at that in the description below, which is an introduction to everything TradeDay. It's a lot more detailed. This is kind of just a catch-up to celebrate this new functionality. So with no further ado, we'll get into it. We'll talk to James and Steve about this exciting announcement, catch up on some other good stuff. If it's your first time here to the channel, it really does help if you like this type of content to like it, turn on the bell notifications, and subscribe to the channel, because for the next 300 or so subscribers, as I get to 10,000, I'm going to be doing a drawing where you can get a free 1-year or lifetime membership to my TDG Pro Trading Room, where we trade this program and many others every day for daily income, show you how to trade the futures markets and how to be successful in these types of programs. All right, that's it for the introduction. Let's get into it. An interview with Steve and James from TradeDay. Hey everybody, it's Rod, your Futures Fanatic. Welcome back to the Futures Fanatic channel. I'm excited to be joined today for a round 2, talking to the fellows, the founders over at TradeDay, James and Steve. And we're here doing another interview because we have some really exciting announcements today from TradeDay. We're going to get into it. They're going to be one of the first online futures funding firm, I think the first for sure, that's offering a integration essentially between NinjaTrader and Tradovate. So they have always supported Tradovate, a web-based platform that we all know and love. And now, after a while, they're going to support NinjaTrader starting yesterday. And we're going to talk a little bit about what that looks like so you can actually use both platforms. So welcome, Steve and James, back to the Futures Fanatic YouTube channel.
Thanks for having us, Rod.
Thanks, Rod.
Pleasure to be back.
Yep.
Yeah. So why don't we just jump right into it and explain for the audience a little bit about this super exciting functionality, kind of a bridge in a world between NinjaTrader and Tradovate, and your support of NinjaTrader, and then we'll get into some specifics about how it works.
Yeah, sure. Shall I take this on, Steve?
Yeah, go for it, yeah.
So, when we set out on this sort of road to building this company, we started with Tradovate. I think we covered those reasons in a previous video with you. But essentially, we didn't want to be a support network for multiple platforms from day one, right? We just wanted to get going with one platform that we liked. But the idea was to always offer multiple platforms, eventually meet trader demand. And then when Ninja bought Tradovate, we were like, how's this going to shake out? And we think that they were buying them for the technology, for other reasons too. But the technology on Tradovate, with it being usable across Mac, Windows, Android, iOS, downloadable applications, or web browser friendly. It's very sort of like, I feel like it was like one of the sort of more technology forward platforms. So we wanted to see how Ninja integrated. And then as the months went on, we were discussing it with Ninja, and it felt like that they were going to be ready sort of around summertime, and they were sort of indicating to us, weren't they, Steve, that it was going to be summer, June. I think May they told us maybe towards the end of June maybe towards the end of July. They kind of went quiet, so they were having a few issues doing that integration, which is to be expected with such a large technology project like that. But we were excited because we knew what the final product would look like, and that was this perfect, or perfect yet to remain to be seen, but this full integration between Ninja and TradeDay, which essentially, for those that don't know, Ninja is a Windows downloadable application, so you can only trade on your Windows desktop. Some people do download it to a Mac, but it means partitioning your Mac and having a Windows operating system on your Mac. But there's no mobile functionalities, and when the integration that has happened, what it means is you can now trade on Ninja and enjoy the sort of wealth of community resources and indicators that the Ninja has managed to build up around its offering, and go and grab a coffee in Starbucks and check your trades on the TradeDay platform. So whatever you do on Ninja will appear on TradeDay, and whatever you do on TradeDay will appear on Ninja. So essentially, you can manage your trading from your mobile or from your laptop, if for the first time, if Ninja is your preferred platform.
Awesome. All right. Well, let's get into some of the specifics then. So what I'm over here on the TradeDay website when I'm in a logged in state, and on the URL that talks about this NinjaTrader integration. So let's talk a little bit about functionally how it works. If I'm an existing TradeOvate customer and I was using, TradeDay customer, and I was using Tradovate, okay?
Yeah.
Do I have to sign up for a new account, or can I use my existing account and now just add this NinjaTrader platform functionality?
You can use your existing account. So it's just a question of downloading Ninja. And it only works with Ninja 8 version 26 or higher. That's the sort of latest release, I believe.
Okay, so it works with that latest release. Okay, and then here on this page are instructions for how you would actually connect. It's pretty straightforward. If you're familiar with NinjaTrader, you can make that connection. Now, if I'm an existing TradeDay customer and I'm using Tradovate, which everyone would, and I now exclusively want to use NinjaTrader, can I use my credentials, log into NinjaTrader, and are all trades in both locations, or can I just trade on one platform now?
All trades are in both locations.
Okay.
But you can exclusively take the challenge on Ninja. You don't have to be logged into Tradovate or need to sort of log in at any point throughout the day. You can pick your platform, pick your lane if Ninja's your thing. Just one thing on that. If you're new to Ninja, I think if you can just scroll down that page a little bit.
Yeah, sure.
There is, we have an option to sort of click on that sort of blue button that will take you to their download page, and you put in our license key, which is just listed above that. This is if you're new to Ninja for the first time. But if you have your own license, whether that's lease or lifetime license, and you'd like to use that, there is one small extra step for you. You have to email Ninja and request that they enable the Tradovate adapter. So that's if you're using your own Ninja license.
Right. And as the time we're recording this, and I'll probably publish it today, it's Tuesday, December 6th. I've requested that a few days ago, and personally hasn't been approved yet. So there might be a little bit of a queue. Give it a little bit of time if I don't hear, because I have my own licenses, so I haven't yet tested this functionality. But if you have your own license key, send in an email to NinjaTrader, and they should enable that on the back end. Because essentially, under the control panel, these instructions here, you won't see NinjaTrader available for your own license key until it's enabled, platform enabled by NinjaTrader.
Yeah, correct. It's I'm sure that they're going through the same pain that everybody goes through with a production release, right? You test it, everything's fine. You go into production, and then you're sort of playing whack-a-mole for things that you weren't expecting. So I apologize on behalf of TradeDay /Ninja that there's been a 2-day delay in getting that that adapter enabled. But like you said, there's probably a queue, and I'm sure they're dealing with one or two sort of minor issues too. But so far, we've had people successfully connect and trade.
Great. That's really that's exciting. Okay, so now just switching gears for a moment. So traders, if you weren't aware, one of the great things about TradeDay's selection to start with Tradovate is that Tradovate has been natively integrated with TradingView for quite a while, and you guys have a small little update on TradingView, right? In terms of you're making that connection actually free. So what's great here, gang, is now you're talking about 3 platforms, right? 3 platforms for the price of one. You're going to be able to trade on TradingView, Tradovate, and NinjaTrader. So it's very exciting. But you guys want to talk about what you've done with TradingView?
Yeah, so there was not really, I mean, as you say, you've pretty much summed it up there, to be quite
Yeah.
honest, Rod. You know, I mean, effectively, if you've already got, you know, that you do have to have your own TradingView license. So, you know, if you've got a TradingView license already, but previously there was an integration fee, which is around $10, I think €10, $10. But that's now we've done away with that, so there's no integration fee. You do have to pay your license to have TradingView, but for integrating it with Tradovate through TradeDay, there's no extra fee to go on top of that. So yeah, so that's like an added little bonus we've added in. So as you say, that now means that, you know, users, if they have a TradingView license, they can trade via TradingView, and if they want, they can now, you know, as we've gone through already, you know, go and take a look at using Tradovate and or Ninja as well, and then be able to have all the functionality of doing trading from those platforms on the go as well as being on the desktop.
Yeah, and just to pick up on, you know, like the 3 platform thing, we integrate with Jigsaw too. So
yeah,
I think that's pretty standard for anybody that's on the Tradovate platform to have that functionality. You know, there's no cost. I believe there's actually no cost to connect Jigsaw anyway. So, you know, if you own your own private or have your own private Tradovate trading account and you want to connect it to TradingView, that cost is still there. That connection cost is only sort of TradeDay have done away with that cost. But Jigsaw, I don't think there was any connection cost there in the first place. It's certainly free to connect your Jigsaw platform to the TradeDay evaluation also. Yep. So we have that sort of 4th option, you know, and as we grow and evolve, you know, we'll look to meet trader demand. We have quite a few people coming on requesting Motive Wave or Sierra charts, and we can support those in funded accounts, but we can't currently support them in the evaluation services.
Great. Okay, so saving $10 a month, because that's what the connection fee was, and all these components and pieces are starting to come together, providing a lot of flexibility and choice. If you are just stumbling across this interview here and newer to this entire space, the futures funding space is growing. It's very exciting. It's a great way to learn. And over on TradingView, in order to trade even the paper account or to do anything with TradingView with futures, you do have to have real-time data. So why not use a program like TradeDay, where you can, for a very small monthly fee, you can not only potentially qualify for funding, and by the way, this is real live funding. So TradeDay puts you in real live markets. We want to emphasize that again. If you show that you're a good risk-adjusted trader, you go through the program, you pass, you meet the requirements, you are going to get a funded account. And the way it works with TradingView over here is you go and connect with your credentials that are being provided by TradeDay, and you will have real-time futures data for TradingView. Great charting and analysis platform. We're here to talk about the integration with Ninja even today. But again, all these pieces are coming together in a way that's providing a lot of flexibility and choice for traders.
Yeah, and that's what we're trying to do, you know, provide all of that. And as you say, you know, and, you know, I just want to, I mean, I'm sure you'll point the guys back to the previous interview we did with you guys, just spelling out what we're trying to do and to fund people live. You know, we're genuinely looking for traders in to put them live in, you know, with our own capital when they pass our evaluation challenges.
Yeah, you know, my background is building and managing proprietary trading groups, and Steve's worked very closely, you know, with that industry and with investment banks on the research side, you know. And what we're trying to do is kind of bring that professional experience to the retail trader at home, and we want to build a global prop trading group by, you know, I guess essentially crowdsourcing, you know, talent and, you know, through the evaluation services. So we're now part of this SIMTA funded industry, but where we're really focused on really is sort of building. We want to build the best version of that SIMTA funded platform, not necessarily the cheapest, you know, and but certainly, you know, we have a focus on bringing in institutional grade tools like institutional grade research, live market commentary, daily morning meetings, you know, much more of a community feel from within our site. And that's really the focus for us, is like, as you pointed out there, Rod, so the technology is starting to fall into place now. We're starting to broaden our offering, and we hope to be back on your channel in January announcing some new developments too. Yeah.
Well, we'll definitely welcome you back. And Steve, I think I will point in the description below and also up here, I'll put a link to the original interview where we go into the benefits of TradeDay and how they're differentiating themselves in a lot more detail. But since that interview, Steve, has there been any additional research, or you kind of getting into a groove in terms of those daily, any updates you want to provide on that? Because that's a huge part of your desk and your firm relative to some other firms.
Yeah. So a couple of things we've added in there on that side is, so we now have, it's something we were promising to do from day one, and we, what with the day-to-day running of TradeDay, it kind of got pushed a little bit to the side. But what we've started to do is what we call our Trader Mind sessions. So that's James and I talking, a lot about, as you know, one of the most important parts of trading, the psychology of trading, and how that psychology and emotional side of trading then fits in with risk management. Those are very, very much overlapping, kind of areas. So we've started, we launched those a month ago. We kind of do one of those once a month. So we had one last month, another one we've just done recently. So the Trader Mind sessions are so
you go to the top there into
where is this? I'll navigate
under resources,
top header link, resources, drop down menu.
On the drop down, at the top, at the top,
Here we go.
On the right,
there you go. Yeah.
So we've got Trader Mind sessions in here. So we have those running, and those are recorded. So
who are these guys?
Yeah,
I
don't know. So we have those going on, and then the other thing we launched just last week. Again, it's in that same drop down, Rod, under resources.
Oh, I do see. Sorry, I see that you've synced up and doing some stuff with D. That's great.
Yeah. We had a couple of interviews with Dee, just very much her trader chats we had. So so we did those. Yeah. But under the resources as well, if you see the drop down there, the other thing we launched just last week is then there's Technical Tuesdays. So that's just myself then just running through various technical analysis topics. So that's a live webinar. It's recorded so they can pick it up. And then all our traders, and we launched that last Tuesday. Skip to this Tuesday because we did the Trader Mind session today, but there'll be another one next week. And I started last week just on the real basics. How do you define trend? Various definitions of trend, but then not just defining trend and doing the education around technical analysis, but then how do you then build a trading strategy? How do you build a trade around your definitions of trend? How do you then, once you identify support and resistance levels, how do you then build a strategy and a plan around that using identified trend support, trend resistance levels? And I've kept that really simple. I've stripped stuff right back, going back to real basics in here, and people do appreciate that. And it's only when you sometimes it's good to go back to basics to see those building blocks. I think a lot of traders get very engrossed in building something really super fancy and getting super complicated indicators. And then sometimes it's really useful to strip back of, where are those foundations? So, I'm just trying to build these Technical Tuesdays on those foundations. So we'll be pushing ahead with those on a weekly basis.
Oh, that's great. Okay. So speaking about getting back to basics and keeping it somewhat simple, gang, I'm going to just go over to my dashboard here. I participate in all the programs for all the firms that I talk to. I don't have a lot of time, nor do I have a need to get through a lot of these programs. But what I wanted to point out is that this is the dashboard for 50,000 that I'm doing, and I don't know the stats, but it's up a little bit of money. But I only trade the micros, and I keep it really, really small. And what I wanted to revisit is that TradeDay also has, and this should not be something that you're doing very often, but maybe you guys could describe if you do violate a rule, and this is about learning, that you offer a free reset on the subscription renew. And I think this is important for people. Look, these firms don't want your reset money. We're looking for good risk-adjusted traders, right? So there's a little bit of a penalty box, but you guys, maybe you could describe what that free reset means and how it works.
Yeah, actually, just touching on the micros there as well, Rod. Because we actually, when we first started, when we had our first interview with you, we realized the importance of micro equivalency. We allowed traders to trade micros, but our starting limits on our beginner program were 2-lot minis or 2-lot micros. And funnily enough, before we had started working with you, we actually hadn't had that many micro traders on our platform, but you very much preach the micro way, which we really appreciate, and things absolutely fantastic, particularly on these smaller accounts. So that prompted us to do a technology change and introduce micro equivalency. So if you're starting with 2 lot E-minis, you can also trade up to 20 micros. So that was kind of like that genesis of an idea there. And then the other thing that you mentioned to us was, hey, you know what? Have you thought about introducing maybe a free reset on renewal if the trader's really struggling? So we discussed that, didn't we, Steve? And that kind of ended up making sense to us too. So now we have a situation whereby if a trader is not being evaluated when their membership renews on that sort of day renewal, after we receive that payment, we reset them for free automatically so they can have another crack at the whip.
Right. So it's important to point out that's if you're not being evaluated. In other words, you have violated one of the rules, and you'll see that here on your dashboard. It doesn't mean that you have to pass the evaluation every 30 days. I want to point out, you can see days traded here, 81. I'm on my 81st day, right? I'm taking it as slow and steady as you can possibly take it, right? So it's a nice benefit. And I often recommend, if you do violate a rule, put yourself in that self-imposed penalty box and wait for the subscription renewal to come about. And that's the best way to go about
that. That's kind of, we wanted to try and also, we think like one of the benefits for the trader is to break that cycle of like reaching over and just hitting that reset button. If they, like you say, if they are 3, 4, 5 days away from renewal, hey, perhaps I can take some sort of time out just to revisit my trading, look through my performance reports, look through my journals, what would I do differently next time? Maybe practice on a sim a little bit, and then get sort of, knowing that free reset's coming a few days down the line. So to give people a little bit more time, really. So that was the idea behind it.
Right. One thing I wanted to mention to you guys is, I don't know if this is a thing that I've noticed this for a while. So you see how it says trailing max drawdown, and then this says 50,000 right here. Just looks a little weird. That
is wrong.
That is wrong. So just it's been like that for a while. That's the account. I don't get to draw down 50,000. But it actually brings up another thing. Maybe one of your exciting announcements next year, or some firm is going to take me up on my suggestion to break away from the pack and have programs where the balance actually is 0 and it's not notional. Because the reason micros are important in these programs, folks, and they tell you how many contracts you can trade, and you can do what you can do within your own strategy and risk parameters. But you're trading a $500 account essentially if you're trading a $50,000 notional value at any of these firms. So just keep that in mind. There's a daily loss limit at TradeDay. It's $500, which is very reasonable. But to be trading full minis with $500 worth of risk is probably not advised. So we'll leave that there. Okay, now I just wanted to talk a little bit about the promo that you're doing to celebrate this launch here. And I'm just over at this website, which I'll leave down below. This is TradeDay.com/TDG. That's TradeDay.com/TDG. And if you use the code TDG Best Deal, this is 40% off lifetime. Is that right, guys?
That's correct. Yeah.
Yep. We're running this deal because we didn't run a Black Friday deal. We intentionally didn't do that. We do feel that in the space there is a little bit of a race to the bottom on price. As James said there, we don't pretend to be the cheapest. We're not the cheapest. We do feel like we have a whole host of resources. We're building on those resources that we're putting in place for the trader. So we're not the cheapest. We didn't do the Black Friday deal. A lot of people were asking us for that. But what we decided to do is, hold back and wait for this launch of NinjaTrader and to kind of celebrate that kind of launch and that integration with Tradovate. We've launched the deal now running into the holiday season. So so that deal is out there. As you say, you can go to TradeDay.com/TDG, and there's got TDG Best Deal. Put that in and you get your 40%. So and that's going to be running until the 11th, until December the 11th. So you've got until then to take advantage of that. And every time your monthly subscription renews, you'll keep that 40% as long as you keep the account and the subscription running.
Yeah, that's fantastic. And as we've discussed now, you have multiple platforms to choose from. It sounds like this is new to me, that once you pass the test and receive funding, you have even additional platforms that you can choose from. So that's good to know as well. And folks, I try to add value to this as well, and not only doing the content here on YouTube, but also if you use the code TDG Best Deal, you'll be put into like my little ecosystem as well, and you can get access to two weeks or even longer free in my own trade room, where we eat our own dog food and we rip pages out of our own hymn book, whatever analogies you want to, or adages you want to use. We trade these slow and steady. And I even give you a little backlash if I see too much volatility in your P&L, because I wish that people did more of, it's not a monkey see, monkey do environment, but we do trade live every day. So in addition to all the great resources that TradeDay is providing you, the TDG family is also at your disposal if you use our codes. Okay, maybe guys, you can tell us a little bit about some of those plans that you hinted on for 2023, or if there's anything we should be looking out for. Oh, by the way, one last thing, TradeDay, currently it's one account, so you just choose one account, because you can do multiple valuations if you'd like, but you can only be funded in one account because they're putting you in live markets, and those are exchange limitations. And this is actually a very good thing. It's going to allow you to focus. Use all the great research that's available from TradeDay, but you can only purchase and probably should only focus on one account anyhow. All right, what's going on for 2023?
We don't want to give too much away, and a lot of this is very fluid. Part of the reason James is here in the UK is we're having strategy meetings, so we're looking, where to push forward. A lot of this, the developments we've made, we're only just over 1 year old. We launched last November on a kind of softish launch through December. So we're pretty much around 1 year old now. And we have listened to you guys. We've listened to our affiliates like yourself, right? And what you're hearing back from, your own trading room, and what the vibe is, what people like, what they don't like. We obviously have a bottom line to look after ourselves, kind of stuff. And we're not doing it for fun. It's not a non-profit charity, but we're looking to push this foray into this world forward and develop it so it's a maximum benefit to the trader, and we can take something out of it ourselves. And ultimately what we're looking for is those traders that are successful and pass the evaluation challenge and can go on and make money for themselves, with our live money, and for us, that's the idea, that we are aligned. So going ahead, what we got going on? Well, we are looking at adding in some further programs. We are toying with the idea of how we label those, as you said, Rod, 50,000, 100,000, 250,000. What does it really mean? It's very tricky in the space, because the problem is, the user only sees those numbers, and they kind of, they're comparing, they're comparing us with the other incumbents, right, in the industry. So it is tricky, but we are taking that on board. We're thinking about changing that, but there will certainly be other levels. We are looking at maybe the daily stop loss rule, maybe a change to that, to profit targets and drawdowns. There's going to be potential change to that. There's going to be a full refresh of the website itself, and further resources, hopefully, with that refresh coming in as well. So without going into too much detail, because as I say, we can't really, because it's in flux.
Still a lot of ideas that we're kicking around, aren't we?
Exactly. But there will be changes. It will certainly be in the first quarter. It will likely be in January, given that we can get the technology all running and moving forward at the right pace. So I guess watch this space. And then certainly we would love to come back onto your channel and talk about that when that happens in the new year.
Yeah, I think like the overarching philosophy for Steve and I is like, we want, as I said earlier, we want to build the best funding platform, not the cheapest. And we want to meet trader demand. We are getting a lot of feedback from our traders, from the people like you that we're working with, and your communities, and we want to do that within who we are as TradeDay. We want to continue to fund traders with our capital in the live market, so we're aligned and the traders aligned. Their success is our success. So we need to build our programs and build our platform that allows us to continue to do that and be who we are, and at the same time give more opportunity, whether that's more funding funding programs or levels, I guess is the way to describe it, but also more broader products, and maybe moving into different asset classes. And when I say asset classes, I don't mean like metals and energy. What I mean is like across perhaps equities or crypto or options. We don't really know what that looks like in 2023. At the moment, we're pretty much focused on increasing the number of programs, maybe making some slightly bigger, some slightly smaller, just because at the moment we just have the beginner and advanced, and tweaking some of our rules to react really to what traders are telling us they want. That again fits in with our approach to risk management and what we're comfortable doing, funding, when it comes to funding people.
Great. All right. Well, I got to switch to this one, or you guys are cut off a little bit there. I'm all by myself. I know some of you guys often comment about how my lighting's bad or this bad. We're just bringing the content, right? I don't have any sexy producers here or anything like that. All right, so let's sum up everything we got going on, folks. We have support for integration between Tradovate, TradingView, and now NinjaTrader. You can place trades in any of those locations, close them, do all this great stuff. It's fantastic. Talking about a 40% discount for the next 5 days or so using code TDG. Best deal. That's going to get you 40% off for the lifetime of your test evaluation. We didn't touch on this today, but in addition to all the fantastic research, since you're going into live markets, there's no waiting period for payouts. It's your money. You made it. You can reference the other interview that we did. It's better to go slow and steady, build your trading account. But for those that want to know that this is all for real and it's a real business opportunity, if you make money in your account, you can take it as soon as you want. So there's no hoops to jump through, no games around waiting periods, because the money is live in the market. And Steve and James are benefiting along with you because they get a percentage of your profits. That's the way this all works. So that's fantastic. You got the free resets as well. Don't reset, boys and girls. You don't need to do that. But if you do break a rule, you can reset your account. And lots of great stuff potentially coming in 2023. They did mention options. Some of you know from my channel, from other things, I'm beginning to do some teaching and training on options on futures because they're specifically designed for risk management in a different kind of way than equity options, because they're one for one. We'll get into more of that as I make more content on it. But I think you'll probably see options supported at several firms, maybe TradeDay sometime next year. And that's just a better way to hedge, manage risk, and potentially improve your profits. Anything else, gang, before we drop for today?
I think, what I would like to say is, first of all, holiday greetings, best wishes for the holiday season, Merry Christmas and all of that. And
go England in the cup, right?
Go, World Cup, we've got that. Sorry to see the USA go. But the main thing I would like to say is just a big thank you to you, Rod, personally, for hosting us on the site, for being very supportive, and also for everything you're doing, for traders, kind of stuff, and we're all in it because there's something to be had out of it for us. But then equally, I do feel that we are aligned with yourself and that we're trying to do it in the right way. We are trying to educate, we are trying to lift and assist people, and it's been a pleasure working with you throughout 2022, and looking forward to keeping that relationship going through 2023. It is appreciated, it is noted, and to everyone on the channel as well. We do get feedback. And we do listen, we put, you ask, we listened, and we act, kind of stuff. And it is a bit of our motto now that we're not going to react to everything we get feedback on, but then equally, we're not scared to take this industry in a different path to what maybe some of the incumbents are looking to where they're looking to take it. And, the more we get from you and people like you and people on your channel, that the more feedback we get, the better.
Yeah. Thank you.
Great. Thank you. Well, we call it the miracle equation. I borrowed that from a great book by a guy named Hal Elrod, and that's what I do every day in our room and on a lot of content. And that miracle equation is you can accomplish anything you want if you have unwavering faith and you put in extraordinary effort. So it's all about believing and knowing that this is possible. All the stats that you hear about failing trading, by the way, they're no higher than failure in business or any other difficult pursuit. It's a skill development. It's acorns to oak trees. It's slow and steady. It's working with fantastic companies and traders like James and Steve. Use this as your foundation. If you're considering and you've never bought one of these programs before, I would highly recommend that you take a look at TradeDay as the place to find your home and start this out. it's a great place to start because they're very much aligned with everything that I'm talking about here on the channel. So happy holidays to you as well, Steve and James. Thanks for joining. I look forward to having you back again. We'll keep the conversations going. Again, all the information on what we covered here, as well as the previous interview, will be in the description below. If it's your first time here to the channel, it really does help if you can like this content, subscribe to the channel. Again, there'll be a lot more stuff like this where you learn about the back office and the front office and all the great things that are happening at some of these firms. So please subscribe, like, turn on the bell notifications. You know all the good stuff to do to give that social love. That'll be it for today. My name is Rod, the Futures Fanatic, reminding you to stay green and trade like you mean it. Thanks, guys. We'll see you next time.